So, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on. So let's welcome to the blue corner, Tommie Russell. Here, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the red corner, Harvey Jones. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is 3 2-minute rounds of boxing. Let's meet the fighters. So, ladies and gentlemen, your boxer standing in the blue corner. He's wearing black shorts. And ladies and gentlemen, he is a local DJ, the resident DJ of the Highlight Arena. So get your hands together for the one and the only Tommie Russell. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent facing him, boxing out of the red corner. He's wearing black shorts with white banding. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Harvey Jones. Who is your referee?
Well, did I hear that right? We've got the resident DJ who's now in the blue corner. Oh, fantastic. He's a jack of all trades.
Well, you're his biggest fan as well. You've been loving the tunes, haven't
I have
you?
actually been loving the tunes, which is why I hope he doesn't get hurt or anything, because I want him to get straight back on them bets. But no, big shout out here to Tommie Russell, who is the resident DJ. And
boxers ready.
Harvey Jones.
Round one.
Two 20-year-olds. And they both had one win from one fight. So here we go. Again, another sign of good matchmaking. So let's see what happens in this one. So you can obviously see the height advantage straight off the bat.
Yeah, you'd expect Tommie to use that. Get behind that nice long jab. Good feint.
Oh, good right hand.
Good right hand, yeah.
But one thing I noticed about Harvey is he looks quite calm. You know, you can sometimes tell from a fighter, can't you, if they're going to be panicked and curl up in a shell, but he doesn't look like that.
Yeah, he looks calm. Tommie looks like he's a little bit tense. He'll relax into it, but it's been a good start from Tommie. He's landed a few jabs, he's landed some good right hands. And although Harvey is calm, you're right in what you're saying, you don't want him to be too calm, because this first round's sort of running away with from him a little bit. You want to see what he's got now.
Well, again, you know, it's quite cagey, this one. It's probably the cagiest fight we've seen so far, but I think that's probably because they're both quite, you know, sometimes you get two fighters who are defence-minded.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it, but I think that's what we're seeing now. You know, they're quite educated, you know, in terms of the jab. They're behind the jab. They're orthodox fighters.
Yeah.
But then we are seeing some good little bursts of action. And again, you know, they're really well matched, aren't they? It's almost like you go, I go. It's very well matched. Well, he's got out of one round as Tommie Russell. I'm glad, because the music's not as good anymore. We need him back on the decks.
Good opening round for me. Tommie took that opening round. I thought he boxed well, he jabbed well. Harvey showed glimmers, but this second round he needs to really get in the fight. He's getting the fight, we need to see what he's got.
I'm looking around me, I'm thinking, it's packed out, you got good fights, you got an MC getting the crowd revved up, you got some commentary on, you got great production. I mean, the PBL's the place to be right now, really. You know,
yeah, what a show. They just keep getting better and better, these shows.
Sponsored by Timothy. I'll tell you what, the production team's having a right laugh here, because I'm actually sponsored by L'Oreal, not Timothy. So, you know.
You know, when I look those on the screen there,
corners out.
I would guess you're 50 years old.
Well, listen, all I can say is...
Boxers ready?
Anyway, round 2.
Round 2.
You've got in quickly there, because you know I'm going to come back at you later, but I'm going to come back at you when you're not expecting it. So don't you worry about that. We're into round number 2. And we've seen quite a cagey fight. You're probably going to edge it to Tommie at the minute, because he just had the slightly cleaner work at range. It's quite hard to get inside someone who's got that much of a range difference. You've got to feint and go. You've got to have quick feet. You've got to make yourself a small package and get inside. It's quite hard.
You know, I was just thinking the same thing. I think Harvey's finding Tommie quite awkward.
Yeah.
I don't think he can get in and get his own shots off.
Well, look at the way Tommie's moving. He's not staying still. He's actually moving, and every time Harvey's trying to get into a position to get an angle, Tommie's moving too. You know, he's using his height well. That's the shot. That's the range he wants to be at. And then when he gets out of range, it's impossible to hit him.
Yeah, and that's why I feel Harvey's got to gamble a little bit here now, because the fight's slipping away from him. Second round, Tommie's having it all his own way. Harvey's just got to throw caution to the wind a little bit.
Or use the jab to bring his feet in. Double jab, bring your feet in.
Yeah, there you go. Double jab or triple jab, get in range and then let your shots go. So when he stands on the outside, you're quite right. He's finding it quite difficult. He can't get his shots off. Tommie's moving really well.
The thing is, when you fight a tall fighter, if you can close the distance by half a yard or a yard, then all of a sudden it becomes awkward for the tall fighter, because they're not in the right punching range. But you know, these are things that you learn with, you know, they're only young and you know, 20 years old. These are things you learn from fighting all different characters, different heights, different weights. The bell's just gone there. It's not as loud as it was before the bell. The bell used to take my head off. You know, she used to have this klaxon. But yeah, it's been a good night of action so far, hasn't it, Dan?
Really good fights. I mean, you can't pick one fight that's been disappointing. They've all been great fights, great entertaining, great technical skill, and all 50-50 fights. Every time there's a fight tonight, you can see how each fighter could have won it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, some of them might be annoyed with what, you know, with us going the other way, but they've been close to fights. They've been good close fights. It's hard sometimes when it's over 3 rounds or 4 rounds. Yeah,
because you know, scoring subjective, isn't it? It's what you like. You like a fighter going back off the back foot. You like fighters coming forward.
Corners out.
Every single fight has been absolutely brilliant.
Oh, absolutely.
And they've been really
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we enter the third and the final round.
So we're going into the third and final
Boxers
round.
ready?
I mean, so
round
far,
3.
Personally, I think it's hard to look past Tommie being ahead. You know, he's made it awkward for Harvey. He's used his big height advantage. But look, we've seen fights turn around. We've seen stoppages. We've seen all sorts tonight. We've seen fights turn on their head. We've seen everything.
Yeah, I mean, from Harvey, you've seen glimpses of potential in this fight. But like what we said, he just doesn't seem to have to get his shots off. But
yeah, but he did land a good one there, and that actually momentarily completely discombobulated Tommie.
And this is what we're calling for. Throw caution to the wing, go forward, try and land something.
Well, he knows he can do it now. He can get in that. I think it was a left hook that caught him. And that tends to be the shot that the shorter fighters use to get inside. Jab, jab, left hook. I've just heard some brilliant advice from behind me. Hit him. He's not wrong, is he, to be fair?
Looks simple from the outside, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Tough all game, guys. If you want to see what you're made of, get in contact with the PBL. Give it a blast. So they're both looking up at the clock here. 40 seconds to go in the third and final round.
Tommie a little bit distressed there, not sure why.
Well, it's been Harvey's best round, hasn't it? He's actually doing what you said earlier, gambling a little bit. That was a good shot. You know, this is good from him actually now. He's made the adjustments. Unfortunately for him, it's only a 3-round fight.
Yeah, if this was over 4 rounds, it'd be very interesting.
Yeah. 14 seconds to go. I reckon we're going to get some techno music after this.
Ooh, good right hand.
That was a good right hand, and he went and broke there with that one. And a good last round there from Harvey. Harvey definitely won that last round, but you'd probably give Tommie the first 2, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you give Tommie the first 2. I think that Harvey did gamble, but he left it a little bit too late.
Well, we're seeing here how intense it can be for 3 rounds. His hit bucket's been taken off him. Nope, he's still got it, but he's been told to stand up. You know what? He's put everything into it. Fair play. It's not as easy as it looks. Take care, mate. It's not as easy as it looks. So, listen, I think Tommie's won on the first 2 rounds, but...
Yeah, I think Tommie's won. I think that Harvey struggled a little bit with Tommie's style in the first 2 rounds, but then when he went for broke, when he rolled the dice, he had plenty of success, and he'll probably regret it later that he didn't roll the dice earlier, but that's all part of the learning curve.
Watch the decision go against us again here now.
Surely we can't get this one wrong.
No, I couldn't see it, but look, it's all I can say is none of these fights have been blowovers, dominant. They've all been good nip and tuck fights, but
yeah,
we've got to call it how we see it.
And again, another good learning fight for both men.
Yeah. So we've got to give a big shout out to our headline sponsor, the podcast with Phil and Dane, and you need to watch it. It's simple as that. You need to tune in. Phil and Dane, obviously, they're putting on these great shows here, and get to know them a little bit more. Tune into the podcast as the headline sponsors of this evening. We need Tommie back on the decks and playing some absolute bangers, and I think we need some 80s and 90s. Now we're going to go over to the decision. Let's see if we were right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for both of these boxers. So, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of boxing, we go to our judges ringside, declaring your winner. In the blue corner,
Right, I've got Tommie with me here. Now, it was a big celebration there, so that obviously means a lot to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it means a lot to me. It's my second fight. Every fight has been over 18-year-old, and I'm just proving the point. Doesn't matter how old you are or how much effort you put in. If you've got the mindset, you can do anything.
Absolutely, mate. And you know what? I thought it was a fair decision there. It was a good fight, though. But at the end, there's always that nervous weight. How did you feel with that nervous weight? Did you think you got it?
Yeah, I definitely got that nervous weight. I had it before going into the fight, but I threw it to the side and it's come back at the end of the fight. But you know what? I come back with a victory, so what more else to say?
Come on, lad. What's harder, doing the decks or doing 3 rounds in there?
Probably doing 3 rounds of that, but when I've got my boss shouting at me every day, it's pretty hard, to be honest.
When are you getting back on the decks? Are you getting back straight on them now?
Yeah, I'll be back on the September show. Yeah, I'll be coming better, fitter, and stronger and faster.
Mate, that's what it's about. Well, look, you're a crowd pleaser, aren't you? Yeah, do you want to say anything on a final note to all your friends out here?
Yeah, I've got to say, everyone, thanks for coming and supporting me. And Eloise, I know you're watching there. Thank you for paying £15 for the pay-per-view. Come on!
Come on. Well done, Tommie. Back to you guys.